Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to the Global Ghost Hunt Live podcast. I am your host, Haleigh Overseth, and today we are here with Melissa Lee of Rootless Destinations. Hello, friend. Thanks for joining us. Oh, you're on. We got to unmute you there, kid. But I do also, while you do that, I want to tell everybody up top, we got a new sponsor for the show. Hey, hi, hello. Health empowers you. Check out healthempowersyou.net. You can get their latest ebook of smoothie recipes that they just launched for healthy smoothie recipes. They got all kinds of things for you. If you want to do heart health, if you want to do weight loss, if you're looking into like better cognitive function, you need some good kicks for breakfast. Check out healthempowersyou.net. They've got some good stuff for you, and you can get that PDF ebook right to your email. Check it out on your phone, your tablet, your desktop, wherever you want to get your smoothie recipes and get your health on. And they've got all kinds of other teas and cool products coming too. So now that we've got Melissa here, hi, hello.
I'm here. I'm well.
She's here. Good. I want to just start off with Rootless Destinations. I love that you guys, you and Heidi, she's not here tonight, but I love that you like to have fun with things. I love that you like to have fun with your paranormal investigations that you've been doing for over 30 years. Is this correct?
Yeah, a very long time.
I have to know, how did you meet then? You have to enjoy it. Now, I got to know, though, what's the story of how you and Heidi met then? Because that is a long-term friendship of doing some fun things with the ghosty ghosts.
Yes, it's a very long time. Well, 30 plus years ago, we both worked in a billiards hall.
Fun.
And that's how we met. We worked together. We worked in a pool hall. We both bartended and waitressed, and that's how we met. We just hit it off right away.
I love that you worked in a pool hall. Was it a haunted pool hall? Because that would have been on brand.
No.
You'll have to go. Maybe you need to go back there and see if it's still there and see if it's haunted now. Maybe in the time that's elapsed, somebody has died there and it's haunted now.
There's no telling.
You could, there's no telling. So what was the first, what did you have a interest in the paranormal that would have like, that you guys bonded over? Is this something that developed later? Where does the paranormal interest come from for you?
We really never spoke about the paranormal together until we had an experience together.
Tell me more.
Both of us at a young age have had paranormal experiences.
Okay.
But we were both going through experiences in your life where you're at a crossroads and maybe you have some turmoil going on. And we started having paranormal experiences when it came to objects missing. We actually had, I lost my key to my car one night when we were out partying.
Mm-hmm.
And the next morning we had the locksmith come, and Heidi was sitting on the trunk of the car, and we're all chit-chatting, and he went through every one of those freaking keys on there, and he's like, none of these are matching.
None of these
And
are gonna
so
work. You're
he said,
stuck.
I'm going to start over again. And he went to start over, and Heidi got off the car, and the first key he put in there, the car unlocked, and he said, what is going on with y'all? And he was a Native American man, and he said, I need to speak to y'all and find out what's been going on. And he gave us some feathers, and he did like a little blessing with us. And after quite a few weeks of all this going on, we finally figured out it was her mom, Heidi's mom, who had passed away, who was coming in to try to, I guess, get us or Heidi on the right track. It was
Okay.
very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. Then that's
Well,
when we
I
started.
love that. That's, she's just coming in and saying, hey, y'all need to go play with us and crossover in our little spheres, the spirit world and the human world. You guys need to come and play because that's where you belong. So I'm going to take your keys until
It
you
was
figure
just
that
great.
out.
Yeah.
That
So
is
that's
a
when we
really,
started learning about our experiences in life, and then we just started exploring and traveling and doing shit together, and here we are.
I love that. That's a beautiful story. So tell me a little bit then about your experience. Do you have, I don't know if you would maybe say sensitivities, or I know psychic sometimes is a word that gets, I don't know, has a certain stigma, right? But
Am I psychic? No.
but
Have I been able to let you know that there's something here or tell you what I'm feeling? Yes, and not at every location. I tripped a friend out of mine years ago. Went to visit him. Had a 2-story townhome. He opened the front door, and before I even stepped in, I said, "Who are those two spirits standing on the stairs?" And it freaked his shit out. It was his grandparents. They had lived there for years. It was their house.
oh,
So I don't think I'm psychic in any way because I can't. Spirits don't come to me. I'm not a medium. It's just more of a sense, I guess. And
well, that's
maybe when they show me.
I mean, that's interesting though, like, because this is something that I do find fascinating. I absolutely believe that like we're all psychic on some level, some degree, like we are all connected, and so
Right.
we're sort of trained out of that, as we grow up and grow out of like the childhood sort of innocence and playfulness that we had, right? Which is probably why you had a lot more experiences as a kid, and maybe if
Yes.
you are willing to talk about some of those, like I would love to hear about some of those experiences that you had as a kid, but. I think that like we all have sensitivities of some kind. Some of us are just more tuned into different things. So when you are sort of experiencing whatever that, whatever you may call it, do you experience visuals? Like, did you actually see those spirits standing at the top of the stairs, or is it?
I did not see them. I knew that's where they were, and I knew that there were 2 of them.
So it's not a visual sensory, just more of a sort of like energetically maybe.
Right.
Okay, very cool. So do tell us then a little bit about, so when you were younger, the kind of experiences you had that, you know, that were the weird paranormal experiences that you were like, wait, what?
So at a very young age, I was probably 3. Um, I remember laying in bed, and my bed was, and I will never have my bed like this ever again in my life, was where it was catty cornered. So it's like in the corner of your bed. So your head was like in that
That
open
was a
space.
thing when I was a kid too. Why were parents doing that? Like, I
I don't
imagined
know.
monsters in that corner behind my headboard all the time. Why? What was that about?
Yeah, don't get it. But I did see him with my own eyes. I saw a Native American Indian chief, and he literally had the full. I'm getting chills. He literally had the full headdress, and and he was tall. I remember him being tall, but of course I'm little,
Mhm.
and I'm in bed. Um, and he was looking at me and looking like towards the door and out in the hallway, and he just looked down at me and looked back up, and then he was gone. Well, come to find out years later that land, I guess, home was actually haunted by Indian Native Americans. My sister had experiences there. She's 10 years older than me.
Oh, so
And
that's
years like, yeah, when I told her the story, she was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" She said, "I thought it was freaking crazy."
I love stories like that because, you know, that I think that does happen a lot to people where
Mm-hmm.
you have those shared experiences, but like nobody talks about them. And obviously, you know,
When I was little.
right. It's not as acceptable, or it wasn't as acceptable as it is
Right.
now to talk about those things, right? And so you kind of had to push them off. And then you did have that, like, maybe I'm just nuts. Maybe I
Right.
just imagined that, you know, right? But like that's such a cool experience. I think, you know, do you look back at that experience now and I mean, give me a sense of like what your general feeling is when it comes to the paranormal in terms of like the fear element, because I know that that's something that for a long time has kind of been the paradigm when it comes to paranormal and looking for, hey, what's up? Vicky's here. My bed is like that now. Vicky, I'm not surprised that you're just fine with there being monsters in the corner behind your bed all night long. That doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I applaud you. Good for you. But again, like just the idea of fear being the basis for the energy that people would go into anything in the spirit realm with, right? And that's not so much the case, I don't think, anymore. It's a lot more kind of the energy that you and Heidi have with Rootless Destinations, being curious, wanting to
Right.
explore,
I was gonna
wanting to.
say with me it's not a fear. I mean, with that first experience with the Indian as a child, I didn't even feel fear then. I actually felt protection.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. So I
I
think
love that.
again, it's just different. I don't go into anywhere feeling fear unless I've already been there and had a fearful experience there, then I might be a little fearful.
Right.
But going into most places you don't know what you're gonna walk into or not walk into.
As the case may be. But that's the
Mhm.
better, I think, approach to have. You know, I think it's a good thing to be open to the experience, whatever it might be, and not have
Right.
that initial label on it. Again, that curiosity, fascination, and not fear, right?
Hmm.
And oh, yes, and I do want to make sure that we ask you too. So you are also going to be, so you and Heidi, Rootless Destination, have agreed to be brand ambassadors for
Yes.
Global Ghost Hunt Live, which is very exciting. Do tell me a little bit more about that. Let's talk to the audience about the fun things that will come from y'all being brand ambassadors.
Well, we do a lot of promotions. I haven't really gone into much of it for the upcoming Global Ghost Hunt. I just now have received some information. So probably in the next week, Heidi and I will be able to get together and do some promos, and we'll be talking about anything and everything when it comes to Global Ghost Hunt. And just know that Heidi and I are always here. I mean, seriously, go on to Rootless Destinations anywhere you have any questions, you have any concerns. We are here to answer any questions or help, whatever you need from us. Really, is that what we're here for, and to share our experiences and your experiences.
And put those promos out there and share it all with
promos
Bert.
out there because I need you to sign up. This is such a cool damn thing. I don't understand where my teams are.
Oh, don't worry. They're coming in from the we got it. We're calling them all in. Go to globalghosthunt.com. You've got like October 17th to the 27th, y'all. I'm going to be there. Melissa's going to be there. Our friend Glenda Dawson's going to be there. Vicky Abyss Paranormal and friends are going to be there. It's going to be a groovy, wild, wonderful time. I can't wait. Tell me about. Now, we do have some videos. Brian John's got some videos, and I wonder if he would be so kind and so gracious and so wondermous from the backstage as to bring up a video, because I want to look at some of the stuff that you do. I want to get into the nitty-gritty here with you and your playtime. Tell me about this location. Where are we at? What am I looking at?
Oh, okay. So he's showing you this location that we just filmed for May's Global Ghost Hunt.
All right. Where are you at?
This is Palestine jail. It's called Haunted Texas Jail. This is actually the day before the ghost hunt because we stayed 2 nights at this county jail. So you're going to hear a voice. I ask a question and a man answers me.
Okay, that's exciting.
So you'll need your headphones. I'm pretty sure that's what this is.
I'm ready for it. Let's roll.
Is there anyone here with us?
Oh, go back. One more time. One more time for the audience. I can hear it a little bit. It's almost like a hello.
He says, yeah, real quick.
Anyone here
Yeah.
with us?
So let me ask, I think it looks like we have another video from is that also from the prison? There's another one.
I only sent one because I was like in the middle. I am in the middle of this stuff right now.
Oh, okay.
So well, this is a different jail.
Oh, do you have a thing for prisons? Are you into is there maybe a past life where you?
Okay, just so you know a lot about Heidi and I, we are so into Texas history. So most of our locations kind of interconnect and talk about a lot that has to do with Texas. But this is, so I look at a lot of abandoned places. So the county jails are a lot of locations you can go and stay at and investigate for like nothing. But this is interesting. This is Cold Springs County Jail in Cold Spring, Texas. And they loved anything that lit up.
Okay.
Did you murder your wife? You didn't mean to kill someone. Okay, y'all, so this is the first time we've turned the camcorder. Did you murder your wife? You didn't mean to kill someone. Okay, y'all, so this is the first time we've turned the camcorder.
So I mean, I guess
you didn't mean to kill someone.
I guess at least you're getting a confession, right? Like,
yeah. And what's funny is that ball sat up there for like all night, all day, and just all of a sudden she started talking about, Melissa, I'm seeing this man, and I feel like he murdered somebody. And so she started asking questions, and that damn ball went off. I was like, well, there you go.
There it is. I mean, that's interesting, though, because, if you investigate those county jails and places like that, there are public records and things where you can go back and check. And so there's a lot of opportunity to corroborate, and I think that's even just in and of itself is interesting in paranormal investigation, right? Because basically the idea is that people are trying to get, verifiable data, right? When you're doing that. So like this idea of like a place that has records of who would have been there, right? That you could check, like that's a great way to sort of cross-reference the sense that you're getting of, or the information that you're getting, and sort of confirm that you are actually like having that back and forth communication and getting accurate information. Do you have any, like, what's the greatest sort of confirmation that you've gotten, or maybe one of your favorites that you've ever gotten on a paranormal investigation? Like something that was like, wow, this is a really cool, like, confirmation that, that we were having a communication.
Well, that's a lot of investigations.
Whichever one is maybe a favorite old story that you would love to tell.
Like crap, girl. I would really, to be honest with you, we did an investigation at the Claiborne house for our first global ghost hunt. And cool. We were very familiar with the location and with the owners of the home. So we did have a lot of history and a lot of stories. But there were also some that were unsure if they were true or not. We started to get some information about a child that drowned in a bathtub in this certain area of the home that we were in.
Okay.
And when it was all done, the owner came to us, and it's on our footage, on our camera, but we're off live. And she said, just so y'all know, that is true. A child did drown in that bathtub, but I wasn't 100%. And they just answered you when you asked that question, because they said, Heidi said something about drowning. Mm-hmm. And they said in the bathtub, something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that was cool.
I do love that when you get those confirmations like that, yep, that was something that did happen here and there's a record of it. And so you are having that conversation. It's one of the things that's why you do what you do a little bit, right? Yeah. Like, because, hey, look at this thing that I found. We're not crazy. Again, those things that we saw that happened, we're not crazy. They did happen.
What I like is when you go through the footage and you're like, holy shit, I wish we would have seen that.
In the moment.
Yeah.
But that's a great thing too, that you have, you have the cameras there so you can catch those things that while you're sort of stirring up the energy, if you will, right? You can catch those items. So what are maybe some more like your favorites that you've had that you have caught on camera that were, something you didn't see while it happened, but it, you saw it later in the footage?
Brian actually has this clip. Heidi and I were in an abandoned nursing home, and she caught a shadow figure on her camera. Yeah, it's
shadow figures are my fave.
And I was like, holy shit. Well, probably like an hour before that, we were with another guy. And at this point in time, Heidi and I were in by ourselves, but he thought he saw somebody like peek around a corner. He thought he saw a shadow. Maybe this is who he saw. But it just walked completely down the hallway and then into a room. Yeah. You got to watch to the right.
Apologize.
To the right. Okay.
We do apologize for the road noise. We're literally right on the road.
Yeah, we are. Did you see it?
No, go back.
Am I looking at like where the table is, and it's a shadow, and it follows the wall, and it's going to come to that doorway closest to the right.
Okay.
We do apologize for the road noise. We're literally right on the road.
Yeah, we are.
Oh. One more time. This way up in the corner, like I kind of see something moving.
It's a full body apparition. It's just, you have to really be
focused on the right part of the screen.
Mm-hmm. There it is. You can completely see through. You got it, girl. Brian, share this with her after so she can slow it down. It's cool as shit.
I know. Can we get a pause like right on the clip? I don't know if it'll pause, like if you can pause it right on where it's at. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Look at Brian John slow rolling it like a pro.
Might be hard to see this slow. I don't know when it's coming up.
Shadow figures are honestly some of my favorite, though. I'm not going to lie. I am pretty sure I had a... Oh!
Yeah, you see it?
Oh, yeah.
And it actually starts down the hallway, which is cool.
Oh, okay. So, okay, yeah. Oh, okay, back him up now. I gotcha. I see you. I see you. Oh, that's a fun little game. I see you.
And in our video of this investigation, I actually do a split screen so you can see where I am as well, what my camera's doing.
So you can see that it's not like a shadow that was created by you. The shadow figure thing is fascinating to me because I love that idea of parallel universes and parallel realities. And you know, are you a spirit? I saw, yeah, Raymond, he's with it. He saw it on the door. Once you paused it right there, it's like, oh, there it goes. There. But I don't know. It's a fascinating thing to me. Like, what are some of your favorite theories? I guess I would just ask as to what a shadow figure would be, because that's my favorite, is that's just another layer of reality that you're walking past, and maybe it's a different time or a time slip, and maybe it's a ghost. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know. I will let you know for that one. I didn't feel like it was a threat or anything. I don't even know if that figure knew we were there. But we did have a lot of experiences in that hallway, and that's why we kind of paused for a minute and stood there. Shadow figures to me are just, maybe that's just the way that spirit or person from another world realm is able to show themselves. Some by light, some by full body apparition.
Well, but I love that, though, the idea that maybe they didn't know that you were there either. It's kind of like the others situation, right? Where you're there and trying to communicate, but like in the whatever layer of existence they happen to be in,
right?
Maybe they blip into your sensory experience, but they're not aware of you.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating concept, and I would love for us to delve into that a little bit more, but we are going to take a little commercial break here. Brian John, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of a pause. So everyone, little commercial break, and then Melissa and I will be right back, and I want to delve into a little bit more of this little fun topic of the shadow people, and what are they? Welcome back, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. We're waiting now for Melissa to join, but that's all right because I'm super good at conversating with myself all day, every day. Brian John knows that. He's seen me do it. He's so happy to watch me. Now bring Brian John, while she's gone, bring me up that shadow figure one more time. Let's just bring me up that shadow figure just once more. Bring me this shadow person. Now let me tell you who he is. I just wanted to see this one more time.
Okay, look at the table, and I will start there.
Ooh. Hi-oh. Now, here's what I want to talk about a little bit, because I think this is an interesting concept that you have brought up here. The idea of them not being aware of us, right?
Right.
Well,
maybe it's residual. Maybe it's not even.
Well, this is the thing that I think is really super interesting, because it kind of brings up a little bit of a parallel, just the idea that we as humans, you know, obviously people like you and I are fascinated by these subjects. We want to go check these places out. We want to experience these things. We are looking for it. But there are still a lot of people who just don't notice, right? It's kind of that idea of like being asleep to the things that are present in your external reality in any given moment, right? So maybe give me a little bit of kind of your perspective on that, and maybe a little bit of how the different sort of experiences you've had, because you've had, I mean, again, over 30 years and plus experiences when you were a kid, you know, can you speak to that a little bit? The things that maybe you have sort of always been able to notice, and what it's like to be someone who's able to see those things in a world full of people who either don't or ignore them.
Well, I don't even know if I have. Let me see how I'll put this. Again, I don't feel like I'm gifted or psychic or anything, but I think there's a reason that, and it's not just me. I believe the women in my family can sense and see and have people come to them, and all of us are a little different. I think that you have to be open to it and accept it and learn how to live with it and deal with it and cut yourself off from it. But
know when to shut the door.
And this last place that we investigated, we were hit pretty hard for a while afterwards, Heidi especially. So be very, very careful.
What energies you allow to interact with you, right? Well, there's something in that again, though, for just sort of, I guess, maybe intention, right? And and we've got Raymond. What do you can still hear me from across the room? You know what? Thank you, Brian. Because you know what? Listen,
you need that voice for the show.
And that's right. I need that voice for the show, and I'm little bitty. I got to be loud. You're not going to find me in a crowd unless I'm loud. I'm too short for you to see me. So I had to get loud. Intuitive. Yes. That's really great. You know, I think that's a good thing to bring up, though. And Vicki did have some conversations with us too about this. The idea of, you know, that we all have that sort of inner intuition, and again, trained out of it, or we were previously in a culture that didn't accept things like that. And things are getting more groovy. We're getting a little bit more chill about it, right? Have you
more open about experiences, no matter if it's of the spirit world for humans, no matter if it's experiences from other worlds?
I mean, listen, I'm happy to talk about that. You can say aliens to me, and I will not get scared.
And I'm not sure if it's aliens. I mean, what do you want to call it? I don't know. I've had a few experiences, and I don't know. I mean,
girl, have this conversation with me, right? Because we don't know that we're not aliens to that shadow person or
exactly. I don't just, you know, of another form.
Of another form of existence, of energy, of another plane of whatever this is that we call reality, right? And you can't say for sure.
Makers, I don't flip it know.
Maybe there's what?
Maybe those are our makers. I don't know.
I mean, we're all creating all of it. That is one of the nicest things I could say about my friends is that they're loud. Okay, good. But loud's not so bad. Look at I'm on a good scale then. Loud's not so bad. There's worse things you could have. Okay, good to know. But this is something that I do think is really kind of interesting in the sense of because people are a lot more open, and maybe you can speak to this too. Again, having experienced this for all your life, and ask Brian. We'll interview Brian about that later. Wink, wink. But have you experienced over the course of going into these investigations, exploring and being curious, maybe I don't know, a heightened activity state because more people are becoming aware or intuitive or kind of awake to it? Does there seem to be more interaction, would you say?
No, not in my experience. But then again, I try not to go to locations that have been over investigated.
Okay.
I try not to do that too much, because I could bring something with me when I go somewhere and it might stay there. So all these layers that you have on this historical haunted location in the stories, what else is there?
Talk to me about that, because that's something that I think is interesting too. The idea that, and I like this about the global ghost hunt, that a lot of people do in the different teams, they do check out areas or locations that are not necessarily the ones that are sort of commonly known or the ones that are commonly visited. Like they find locations that are, still a paranormal location, or maybe, and you wouldn't say attraction necessarily, but like a location that people do investigate, but not to the same degree as other ones. But this is interesting to me because that's one of the things that I've thought about, is that just the idea that you go in and bring certain expectations to a space, right? You bringing that energy along that causes what is to happen, and not necessarily something that was already there before you got there. So, I mean, talk to me a little bit more about that, because this is an idea that I do find really fascinating, that like, what other things can you be bringing into the...
Well, I mean, you might bring a spirit with you from another location. Your intentions might not be good, so you may cause something to develop there. You may not know what you're doing with certain tools. Let's just talk about a Ouija board.
Let's talk about a Ouija board.
Or, I mean, lettered blocks. Let's just, what are your intentions and what's your education on that? I mean, be aware that not everybody knows what they're doing.
Right. I mean, there's, I don't necessarily know what I'm doing either. That play element is what I would go into it with a little bit. But again, that's a little bit the intention and the energy, right? Like the curiosity is probably...
The curiosity, yeah.
Is a better intention to go in with than because if you have those fearful elements, right? And I know that we've talked to Vicky and Abyss Paranormal about this a little bit too, that like if you go on an investigation and there's somebody who's really scared, that you might either have more sort of fearful experiences manifest, or that the spirits just don't show up because that person's too scared. Have you had like experiences like that?
I agree. I think it has a lot to do with who is there, the person. I do. I think we got really lucky with some of the locations that we've been to, that Heidi and I have had a couple of other people with us, and we still have had some experiences. So I think that that's just really lucky that we've had those, and pick the right people to go with you.
Pick the right people to go with you, and like have that intention setting maybe a little bit before, like make sure everybody is on the same page, in a good energy, right? Because it's not any different than like going into work and taking whatever your problems are at home with you, or vice versa, right? If you bring that energy with you when you're going, that's going to manifest that same energy where you're at, right? So, and that's something too that I find a little bit fascinating and interesting. And I think we've got a couple more videos, so we should bring them up and have a look at them. But like, I love this conversation. What is the energy that's there, and what is the energy that's coming from you, kind of thing.
Right.
Oh, we're bringing it up. So tell me about this location and this video that we have. Where are you at? What are we looking at? What's the investigation?
I'm trying to figure that out. I think this might be another clip from the nursing home.
And what is that, a REM pod?
Yeah, that is a REM pod, and it, for some reason, down that hallway, it kept going off.
Okay, let's see it.
You know, if you step close to and stick your and walk by where the big giant
Heidi.
You know, if you step close to and stick your and walk by where the
Did
big
you see that
giant
orb off in front of it? Now I know what this clip is. Did you see that light anomaly?
Yeah.
You know, if you step close to and stick your and walk by where the big giant You know, if you step close to and stick your and walk by where the big giant
I love it. So
you know,
now,
if you step close to and stick your and walk by where the big giant
was there a shadow? Is the shadow? There was a shadow towards the end of it. Was there someone coming down the hall, or was that?
No, everybody was stood still, but we had one guy who had like a light on his, one of the headlamps.
Oh, sure.
And so I didn't really count that because I wasn't sure where he was.
Okay, so not really sure where the shadow's coming from. Got you. And then let's look at this last video too and see what you got going here. I would love to talk to you a little bit too about your favorite tools that you like to use, because I love all the toys that y'all have available now. Like the REM pods are so cool. Where are we at here? This looks fun.
Okay, this is Presidio La Bahia. If you look in front of you, you're going to see the dark part of the wall. Mm-hmm. There's this huge ball of light that comes down and it goes into the courtyard. You can see it in the open door.
Okay. Oop, oop, oop. Do it again. Hey there, friend.
Yeah, it's huge.
Who are you? Hi, hello. Hi.
Zippity doo. At the doorway, it went across. It's cool as shit. We
That's
tried to debunk it, and we've been here several times to this location. So we did go back and try to debunk it, and we couldn't. I was like, get that flashlight, come out here. Could not figure it out.
I tried to do it with the flashlight, sure.
Yeah.
Well, but it's interesting. Sorry, Brian John, can you play it one more time? It starts out like kind of orb-like, but then there's a little bit of a sort of like, almost like it gets more intense. Yeah, like.
Yeah. Did you see it when it passed the door? Then it was like just like a straight light. It was
right. Like it's not. It's almost like it's sort of solid in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because it's moving. It's like it's got a comet. Yeah. It's got like a comet
down the wall into that's a courtyard, and then across. Right. I was like, holy crap, what is that? Could not.
Like it's almost like it's kind of going slow, and then it zips away really fast. That's super cool. I like that. But again, what is that?
Exactly. What is it? The whole time I'm like, what is that? And so we went back again. This is another location that we've been to for Global Ghost Hunt. The one where we're dressed up as nuns. So when we went back to do that, because we filmed this prior, I said, okay, we've got to figure this light out. We couldn't. We tried everything. I was like, I don't know what it is.
It's just weird. Well, but again, that's one of those things where back to sort of like the quote unquote has a light trail, right? Yeah, like a comet, or even if you would think like a spaceship or something, like, right? Like again, back to what dimension of reality is it? And you can compare that even to like people that see like UFOs, UAPs, whatever you would call them. Those lights in the sky. Okay, well, now you just saw one that's like right down on Earth. So like maybe they're not necessarily coming from anywhere. It's that idea of like maybe they're just already here, right? And you only notice them in certain ways, right?
Yeah, I mean, could be. Absolutely.
Because I think too a little bit about, and I don't know if this is necessarily in your realm or your wheelhouse, but I think too about like, sort of spirit energies that are more like elemental energies.
I do agree. I'm into the elementals. I am into the
talk to me.
Elemental deities. You have to you have to be open to all of it. Do you really think that there's nothing else out there taking care of the land?
Well,
Something's
and you
out
have to
there.
be right. Like there's everything is available in the infinite universe.
Mhm.
Everything, every possibility exists somehow, somewhere. So, like, of course, there's going to be elemental energies, and that's
Mhm.
I love tapping into those elemental energies when I'm out, like in nature and stuff like that.
Right.
Like I feel like those are again, and it's that idea of. And maybe this is something that is kind of fun just for like the idea of global ghost hunt in general, that you don't necessarily have to be going to a location and looking for ghosts
Right.
specifically.
Fear.
You can spirits, elemental
Mm-hmm.
energies, residual energies, like again, shadow people, parallel universes. The idea of like there could be a whole other world of what we would consider to be aliens just existing right here
Mhm.
around us. And it's only if you're paying attention that you catch it. Right? So
Right.
like this is one of the things that I think is so fun, again, that there's people like you who go out there and do this and that you're open to exploring. It's again just like being open to being intuitive and being like, there's something that is here and maybe it's human and I can like tap into right away that it's a human, it's a spirit, they're at the top of the stairs because
Right.
it's a familiar frequency, right? I'm a human, I can attach
Mhm.
to other humans or connect to other humans easily. But if it's something else, okay, now this is when it's really weird. What is that little light bubble that's floating around and flying through
Exactly.
doors?
Yeah.
Oh,
What is that light that I saw in the middle of the freaking forest turn different sizes and different colors and come right at me? What
it's,
was that?
can I have this story before
Woo,
you run
girl!
away from me? Can you please tell me? That's an elemental energy fairy something or other if I ever heard of one.
Or from another world, not sure because okay. So
Tell me.
this location, Heidi and I had been to once already.
It's
At
Brian.
night.
Brian
This
said it
was
was him.
freaking in the middle of the night, girl. We were in the middle of a national forest on an old lumber road. Okay.
Okay.
Looking for this light. Thinking people are insane. No, this shit doesn't happen out here. Whatever. Oh my God.
So this is a thing that you're there because people say this happens. Okay.
Yes.
Wait, tell me again where this is.
Okay. It's in Texas.
Okay.
And it's in Saratoga.
Saratoga, Texas. I need to go to Saratoga, Texas now.
And
Okay.
it's very well known. As soon as you put it in, it'll bring up Saratoga lights.
Saratoga Lights.
This
Okay.
is actually an area that I was also familiar with because I grew up there. We lived in the country when I was very little. So, got the camera going. Just got one camera going. It's the camcorder. I'm holding it in my hand. We're looking at the stars. Clear night. And we're in
Okay.
the middle of the woods, so the stars are just gorgeous. Heidi's got this little app on her phone that tells you about the constellations and everything.
Yep.
And it plays this cool little music. And
Yep.
I was like, oh, I like that music and blah, blah, blah. And she turns it off and we're just chit-chatting, walking down the road. And she goes, who is jogging down this road in the middle of the night? I said, what the fuck are you talking about? She said, Melissa, what is that red light coming at us? And I didn't see it at first. I was like, I don't see a light, girl. And there's nobody out here jogging.
You're right.
Okay, what are you talking about? And all of a sudden I see it. And when I see it, then it's probably like 40 feet away from us.
Okay.
And then it continues to come to us. And then it turns to a blue ping pong sized ball. And now it's 15 feet in front of us, moved that quick. Okay, here's where it gets cool as shit. It goes from this.
It's already cool as shit. I'm so excited about this.
This size, and then okay, the old timey cameras where you had to
with the bulb that went
for the flash to. Okay, you know how big that flash was.
That burst, yeah.
So this ball did that. It went, boom, boom, gone. Nothing. Heidi and I ran to the car. The camcorder was, I don't even know where. You can hear us though. And she's like, did you see that? I said, oh my God, what the hell was that?
I have to go to Saratoga, Texas to see the Saratoga Lights. This is so
We've
exciting.
been back like 3 times since. Never experienced it.
But
Have not experienced it again.
But okay, but again,
But
this
I
is
will share this with you, okay? Because
tell me.
earlier I said that I grew up in this area.
Yeah.
So again, as a small child, probably, I think my mom said again, I was like 2 or 3. She would take that back road, me, her, and my sister, from my aunt's house to our house. And we were coming home late one night on that road, and a huge light in the middle of it. She goes, I thought it was a semi truck with their bright ass lights on.
Right.
But she said it was this huge light came from the sky, sat in front of the car. She said, just pulsating. She goes, I didn't know what to do. Your sister's telling me to go. You're in the floorboard crying. She said, then all of a sudden, it's gone. It just gone. So
And
were they
what is
coming
that?
to see me
They
because I
might
had
be.
had an experience there before, or was I just lucky and I got to see it?
That's the big
Right?
question,
I mean, all
right?
these questions I have. And then our video footage of it, no video. It all of a sudden went from, you can hear us talking, the whole time that the light experience, no video, no audio.
Yep.
But then when we get in the car, there it
Back
is.
to working
Video and
again.
audio again. It's freaking crazy.
See, no, but that's something that is more associated a little bit with extraterrestrial generally,
Yes.
right? Like that there's the malfunction of equipment where it's almost like purposefully cutting out where they would be cut. And you lost time. Oh, I love a good time slip, lost time story.
Yeah,
That's
when this
so
happened to us,
exciting.
girl, we literally sat down and like mapped everything out, mapped our time out, what time we got there, because when we were leaving, we felt like, number one, we were backwards. And I was like, and I think we lost time because it can't be that time already. And we had a gas receipt. We stopped at a gas station not far from there, and I mapped how many minutes it was from it.
Right.
And we lost time.
Like that's fascinating to me because
weird.
Time isn't real, right? Like it's a construct that we make up as humans, and but like that quantum slip, quantum time jumping thing, right? Like I love it when it's like what we just like the film strip just had a bit cut out of it and it's gone now, right?
That was crazy.
That is wild. I love that. I would love now. I have to go to Saratoga, Texas. I'm gonna be like, Melissa and Heidi, we need to plan a trip. We got to get some snacks. We got to pack up some toys. We got to go down to Saratoga and we got to just like sit and chill and invite the lights to come and hang out with us and just see what we get. A pitch a tent, right? We'll sleep outside and we'll just be like, listen, just come on in and hang out. We're cool. We're groovy. We're not going to freak out. Everybody can just be chill and have a good time. Let's kumbaya around the campfire with whatever the lights are.
I know. I'm like, oh, I would love to have the experience again. I would love to see that again.
So let me
because I want to now, and we've gone back a couple more times. We've actually set more cameras out.
That's how it is, though. When you want it so bad, that's when it doesn't happen. I know, you guys. It's because you were chilling, talking, and hanging out.
We were just chilling, hanging out. We only had one camera going.
I know.
Nothing.
That's when it happens. You got to go to a different spot now is what you got to do and try.
Yeah.
We're going to listen or bring me because I'm a different person. So we'll try. We'll try like shift the energy a little bit. That's what has to happen next. Well, listen. It has been so great to hang out and talk.
Yeah, you too.
I've enjoyed this so much. Absolutely. Before we go, tell everyone where to find you and Heidi and Rootless Destinations.
Well, you can find Rootless Destinations on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on what is now X. And Parapost.
And I'm Parapost. And thank you so much, everyone from the Parapost fam who popped in and gave us some like loving in the comments. We appreciate y'all. Don't forget to go check out globalghosthunt.com. You can sign up for the 17th of October through the 27th of October, and your team can live stream exploring whatever paranormal entities you might be looking for, wheresoever they may be, in whatever form is your favorite way to do it. So do go check that out. Thank you again to our sponsor, Health Empowers You. Check out healthempowersyou.net. Get your smoothie book. And I'm going to be rocking some smoothies. It's summertime. It's a good time for a smoothie. And thank you, Melissa Lee, for joining us. And I do hope we can do this again.
Yes, me too. And with Heidi.
And with Heidi.
Heidi.
Get better, Heidi, and come on back and hang out with us. And Brian John in the back. And thank you so much for being our producer, holding it down and showing us the Wondermiss videos. We enjoyed it. Thank you, everyone. And join us next time for Global Ghost Hunt Live. We appreciate y'all for joining us.